Welcome to Football Film Review with Bennie Joppru and Michael Spath. Looking back at the Michigan 33-10 victory over Minnesota. And Bennie, our first play of the game in 11 minutes to go in the first quarter is a long run by Karan Higdon, and this is going to be a preview of what we continue to talk about the rest of the next 10 to 12 minutes.
Oh yeah, Michigan's going to come up with the extra tackle here. Spinellis in the number 97 jersey lined up at the as the left tight end, and Michigan's just going to run a gap scheme here. And Pogge's going to come and kick out the linebacker, and we catch Minnesota slanting their defensive front. Spinellis gaps down, picks up the backside linebacker, and
Cesar Ruiz
comes around, and there's a guy there for him to block, and he kind of slows down, and Higdon says, get out of my way here, and pushes him to the ground, and a 47-yard run is the result.
A great block downfield too by Donovan Peoples-Jones.
Yeah, Donovan Peoples-Jones definitely threw a great block. Good seeing that kind of effort from him downfield.
7:53 to go in the first quarter. Michigan scores its first touchdown of the game on a really nifty play. We've been looking for creative plays. This was a very creative one, getting the ball to Sean McKeon.
So Michigan once again shows the unbalanced formation with the tight end in the tackle position, and the Mason Cole lines up on the right-hand side as a tight end, and McKeon actually is lined up as a tackle, but he's eligible given his location on the line, and he's not covered up. And Michigan's going to roll to the right, and they're going to run people across the field to draw the Minnesota's eyes away from McKeon to the other side of the field, and he just leaks out and catches the ball. Chris Evans making a great block downfield, and the two offensive linemen are just escorting Sean McKeon to the end zone, and he tells the crowd to be quiet.
Yeah, Bredesen makes a great block, gets the guy down on the ground, and then Patrick Kugler doesn't really have someone to block, but great showing the effort to get out in front of Sean McKeon.
Absolutely. Once again, like you said, a really creative play, a wrinkle. They've been showing that formation, for a couple weeks now, and they have a couple other plays off it as well.
About a minute to go in the first quarter, and Michigan has a long 77-yard touchdown run by Karan Higdon here.
Yeah, Michigan once again with the counter action in the backfield. Good kick-up block by the pulling guard,
Ben Bredesen.
Everyone hats on hats here for these guys, and good block by Clit Hill. And these Minnesota defenders get a little out of position here, two or three guys that are out of position, but that's what the counter action will do, and that's why Michigan keeps on running this counter to let the guards get ahead and have a little more space from the running back, so the running back has a better view of the hole. And this play's been working, and it keeps on working, and it keeps on working the rest of the game.
13:50 to go in the second quarter, and a 12-yard run by Karan Higdon here, Bennie, that you really wanted to emphasize because of a lot of things that Michigan does well on this play.
Yeah, so this is the exact same play that Higdon scored earlier on his long touchdown run. And here you're going to see what we call an influence block by Zach Gentry. He's going to fake the defensive end like he's going to block him, and he's going to slip outside to support. And you'll see a window coming around and catches the defensive end off guard after Gentry acted like he was going to block him. Great double team on the front side by Mason Cole and Bredesen. Bredesen gets up with the linebacker. Just a really well blocked play here. Exactly how they draw it up when we get 10 yards on it.
10:40 to go in the second quarter, and Minnesota have been running a lot of these jet sweeps to success in the first quarter of this game. And finally, they go to the well one too many times, and this time Michigan's Tyree Kinnel is in the right spot to take him down. Yeah,
you show Michigan something once, you can catch them on it once, but you're not going to get them on it too many more times. And Kinnel here is lined up, 10 yards deep in the secondary, and he sees it coming, and he fires his gun, and ends up making a tackle for a 2-yard loss. It's not very often you see safeties making tackles for 2-yard losses, and it's a great to see his Michigan safeties, getting involved behind the line of scrimmage, being aggressive, and a really good tackle by him as well. And he had a lot of other teammates coming for help, but that's a great play and great instincts there by Kinnel.
Every week, Benny, we seem to feature Maurice Hurst in some capacity. Here he blows up the right guard for a sack.
Yeah, whenever you're thinking to yourself, man, I haven't seen Maurice Hurst yet today. He'll pop up and he makes a play like this. He's been doing it all year long. Michigan's playing cover 2, showing some zone here. And they've been talking about, we need to get pressure with four guys if we're going to play zone. And they get it right here. Hurst completely just bullies Minnesota's right guard and pushes him back into the quarterback for the sack. A great play and something that we have been seeing from him all year. And great to see that we're getting pressure with 4 guys and are able to maybe play a little more zone.
2:40 to go in the second quarter, and a nice 19-yard run for Chris Evans, this time with Patrick Kugler, Michigan center, pulling around the left side.
Yeah, Michigan's going to trying to get outside here. Ian Bunting does a pretty good job on the end, but it doesn't allow Kugler to get outside of him, and the Minnesota player shows. Kugler throws a great block, chops the Minnesota defender. Chris Evans puts his foot in the ground and cuts it up. Really nice read by him and picks up 10 to 12 yards on the play. Michigan showing Minnesota something different besides the gap power scheme.
So if Bunting gets the block and pushes that guy back inside, this is trying to outflank him. As it turns out, he can't. He does a good job blocking, but he can't. And so Chris Evans reads the play, like you said, puts his foot in the ground and takes it upfield.
Absolutely, and that's the purpose of the play, and that's why they block it like this. So there are some options. If you don't get outside, then you can always try to cut it up. But I mean, Chris Evans makes that cut. He doesn't stop running. He doesn't slow down. He makes that cut, and that's why he's successful.
12:02 to go in the third quarter, and we haven't really gotten into him yet, but Khaleke Hudson has a Michigan program record, 7.5 tackles for loss out of his Viper position, and here is the key sack, because this is the one that they call intentional grounding. Michigan went back and gave him a sack on this play.
Yeah, so Don Brown, every week he seems to be freeing up one guy the entire game. It was Devin Bush earlier in the year, and this game it was definitely Khaleke Hudson here. And Don Brown just brings him off the edge. He outnumbers Minnesota. Khaleke Hudson comes off the edge, untouched, athletic enough to not let the opposing quarterback get out of his grasp, and drags him down and draws the intentional grounding.
Here, 9:50 to go in the third quarter, and a young right guard in there, true freshman, Cesar Ruiz, and this is a communication error, and it leads to a big hit on his quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, Ruiz played great all game. He's been flying around the field. We've seen him 20 yards downfield trying to make blocks. We dominating the line of scrimmage. And here, he just doesn't stay on the guy here. I think what he's thinking is a twist is coming when he sees a defensive lineman move, and it doesn't end up happening, and he just completely abandons his guy, and Peters takes a hit. That looked a little scary at first, but he was able to come back. But Ruiz here, he's young. This is his one glaring error in the day. And other than this, he played fantastic, and he'll learn from this, I can guarantee you.
Well, he better, because Michigan, the one thing they have to shore up big time going to Wisconsin, Ohio State is their pass protection. 3:35 to go in the third quarter here, Benny, and Michigan just keeps on pulling that guard. This time it's John Runyon Jr. who's filling in for Cesar Ruiz on Cron Higgins' 5-yard touchdown run.
Yeah, Michigan, they've been doing a great job with this all game. And this season, especially down here in the 5-yard line, they love to run this. The front side just going to gap down. Spinellis is in there playing tight end. He does a good job. Ian Bunting does a good job. Runyon pulls around. He gets submarine in the hole, but his defender basically takes himself out of the play by doing that. And Higdon, battles his way into the end zone here for Michigan's touchdown. And we've seen this every week now where Michigan's running power here down the goal line.
I think you just called this the don't block anybody play and let 8 guys from Michigan compete to make the tackle.
Yeah, they continue. Minnesota kept on trying to run this, spread option against us, and it's the third quarter now, and they're still trying to do it. And it's not going to work anymore, especially coming out of halftime with a Don Brown defense. And here they just don't block anybody. And Thurbush is, right there to make the play along with about 7 other guys. It just shows you the swarming capability of this defense. If you make a mistake against our defense, we're going to capitalize for sure. And you can't do it against us. And Minnesota did it a couple times on offense this game. We had a lot of tackles for loss behind 13. The line of scrimmage.
1:48 to go in the third quarter. Chris Evans on a 67-yard touchdown run. Benny, he is the first player from Michigan to have 2 50-plus yard touchdown runs in one game since Denard Robinson in 2012.
Wow. Great play here. Back to the counter again. Great block here by Gentry, the tight end. He's been doing a fantastic job along with the other tight ends the last couple of weeks. Washes down the defensive end. Bredesen's going to pull from the backside, come around for the linebacker, and the linebacker kind of takes himself out of the play by going inside of Bredesen, spilling the ball to the safety, who Chris Evans somehow makes missing the hole. Great athleticism. Chris Evans shows his speed here. Good blocks downfield.
Eddie McDoom had a great block to help set it up.
Eddie McDoom had a great block, and Chris Evans shows his speed once again into the end zone.